Hello and welcome to Mindful Caregiver Conversations. My name is Donna Ray and welcome. This episode I have two of my most favorite cousins, Tiffany and Tamika, who are joining us to have a conversation about their caregiving journey. So welcome,
Hi.
Tiffany and Tamika.
Hello.
So how y'all feeling today? Good.
Doing well, doing well. How are you?
Right now, I'm feeling pretty good. So I have a little break in between calls and meetings. So I'm feeling kind of refreshed and alert and happy to be here with both of y'all.
Yeah, we're happy to be here with you. We appreciate you reaching out.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. So when I had the idea for this podcast, the first that came to mind are the people who are close to me who might be willing to share about their experience, right? And so I had a list, and y'all are at the top of my list because what we've been knowing each other. I'm gonna put it out there for some decades now, right?
Right.
Like we go way back. We got baby pictures, right? With us sitting on the sofa and at baptisms and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we go way back.
Baby back.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll start with the first question. Who is it that you care for? Start with you, Tiff.
Okay, so I care for my dad, who is 75, no, 76. And he's had, multiple health issues throughout the years. And then my mother-in-law lives with our family also. And I'm also a mother, 23-year-old, 17-year-old, and a fur baby mom.
So that can go after your name, right? It'd be your full name, comma, caregiver, comma, mom, comma.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Comma.
It keeps going. It keeps
Yeah.
going.
Yes, yes.
All right. All right. Tamika, who do you care for?
I have a daughter, Monique. I care for her and my husband, Lewis.
So your list goes on too.
Yeah. It's not as extensive as Tiffany's, but in my immediate household, it's my daughter and my husband.
Okay. All right. So what does a typical day look like caregiving?
You want to
What
go
are
first?
some of your responsibilities? Let me say that. What do you get to do?
So for me, right now we're at the tail end of the school year, but typically, getting up, starting to get myself ready for the day. I got to get Monique up, get her ready for school. I'm trying to make her more independent. So, I'll try to have her snacks that she might want, but make sure, she walks out the door with her school bag, her snacks, her water jug, bring her to school. Um, if Lewis is not in town, then I'm not only bringing her to school, but I'm picking her up from school. She practices soccer Monday through Thursday. The times can vary. And then on Friday, she might run. And on Saturday, if we don't have a tournament, we're at home. If we do have a tournament, we're out of town. And it's just this ongoing cycle, right? It just rinses and repeats every week. We're always training for soccer. We're always, either doing a game or something. It's just, where are we? So yeah, that's what my schedule looks like.
All right. Thank you.
So my schedule, my kids are pretty independent, but our daughter, she does require Uber service. So the school year has ended, but we're still providing Uber service. And I have a Lewis also. So when he is not available, then, I'm the Uber driver most of the time. So a typical day, I'll do a Monday because that's also the day that I, go to my dad's regularly. So I'll get up at about 6 and we're out the door going to school at 6:45. I come back home, I work a little bit. I go to my dad's, sort his medications, chat with him a little bit, and then go to the school to pick up my daughter, at the end of the day, then come back and try to spend a little bit of time with my mother-in-law and take care of whatever the dog needs to. And, work in between all of that, just juggling work throughout the day. So that's a typical Monday. Most other days, unless my dad has an appointment, I'll just be juggling work, the kids, my mother-in-law, and the dog.
Mhm. So now, do you all have a schedule? Like, have something posted? How do you remember? Like, because like Tiff, you chose a Monday. So, so you have a Monday schedule, a Tuesday schedule, or
I mean, it's not posted anywhere. It's all up here.
okay.
I know that if I sort the meds on Monday, he's going to run out on Sunday. So I need to be back there Monday again. That's just pretty much how I keep up with it. His appointments I'll put in my phone, but, and then appointments for my daughter, special events, things like that, I'll put in my phone, but most of the time I just try to keep track of it mentally.
Yeah, and I don't have a schedule posted here. It's, even though it kind of varies in a way, it's the same schedule. So like with the current club that Monique is in, she always has practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5:30 to 7. That's just the standard. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, I don't have it written down, but I'll just text her coach, hey, where are you doing training? And he'll tell me the time and the place, and I just go there on those days.
Mm. Okay. So how do you take care of yourself during all those activities?
I don't. I'll be honest with you. I am doing a horrible job of taking care of myself. I am trying to find new routines with my schedule, but it's hard. I started a new job last year, so that puts me farther in the downtown area than where I was before. So I'm farther away, working from home. So that's a new route, because where I was going to work out, I can't now on my lunch break. Like, distance wise, that doesn't make sense. So that's a new struggle. And then now that Monique is training more, it's trying to find, when do I have the time to go walking or whatever while she's doing that. I started a couple of weeks ago trying to walk while she trained, and that was good. But if she ends up moving, like, I won't be able to walk in that space anymore. I'll have to find somewhere else new to walk. So I'm having a hard time, honestly, taking care of myself and trying to be healthy with everything that we have going on, right? Because it's so convenient to do everything, like fast food when you're on the run. Yeah, but it's a challenge. So I acknowledge I am having a hard time.
Okay. Yeah, the life has us juggling many to-dos.
Mhm.
And if there isn't if there isn't enough space in between, then the next thing just comes up, right? And so for me, when I think about the mindfulness, it's like creating that pause so that just not going from one thing to the next.
Mhm.
Because our minds and our hearts need a little bit of like quiet time. And sometimes when that space isn't available, right? Because I heard you say to use the word struggle, right? And so sometimes the clamp, for me, it feels like a clamp if I don't have some kind of pause in between.
Yeah.
Okay. Tiff?
Right. I think I was better. I was doing a better job of taking care of myself prior to the pandemic.
Mm.
I would get a massage at least once a month. But during the pandemic, I had to put a halt to that. And I also exercised more regularly prior to the pandemic. Even though I've been home more, there are more Zoom meetings. And after you sit, for hours, I just don't have the energy or the mindset to exercise. But I will, if I get a break, like if I have to pick up Christina at say 5 and I'm leaving the city at 3, I know that by the time I get back to Slidell, an hour later at 4, it doesn't make sense for me to come home and then go back out to get her. So I will go to the parking lot at the school and I will just sit and enjoy the quiet time.
Mm-hmm.
So I am, good about sitting when I can. But I would like to incorporate, more exercise. We cook less. It seems like now that things are starting to pick back up. The activities are picking up, so we're cooking less and we're eating out more. So we need to do a better job of cooking more at home, exercising, and just, finding time to do the things that allow me to mentally reset, mentally and physically.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it sounds like both of you all are aware of it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's the first thing is right, being aware of it. And then from that place, make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, so then that leads us into something that you would want to share with other caregivers, something, right, or something that, a truth based on your experience that you would want others to know.
Right. So I would say it's okay to rest. It's important to rest.
Mm-hmm.
I would say give yourself some grace.
Mm.
We all make mistakes. We all get angry. We all just struggle with carrying the load that we're carrying, but give yourself some grace. And then find a listening ear and identify a resource that can help you. We all have different needs, and the people that we're caring for have different needs. So, that resource might be different from one to the next, but we all need additional resources to help us get through this.
That's great. Thank you. I'm gonna have to remind myself of that one, Tiff, about, different people require, we show up different and they may need different resources. So I'm gonna have to remember that. Thank you. Thank you.
So to be honest, when you first reached out to us about having a conversation about caregivers, honestly, I really thought about our dad, Tiffany, before I even thought about myself, you know what I'm saying? And I was just thinking, about him as a caregiver, especially taking care of our mom. And everything that you said is true, right? Like, you really need to take care of yourself as much as possible, because I feel like if you don't take care of yourself, at some point it will catch up to you, right? Mm-hmm. And when you were talking about Daddy and some of the health challenges that he has, I feel like a lot of the times the challenges come from years of just taking care of our mom, right? It's just kind of caught up with him, but we're seeing it on the other side. You know what I mean? We're on one side, he's on the other side. But yeah, we have to take better care of ourselves, not just for ourselves, but of course for our children, right? Mm-hmm. And we have to learn how to do things that we enjoy, the healthy things that we enjoy. But yeah, definitely take time for yourself, whatever that means, to you, because it, can vary from person to person. That goes at the top.
I think we're in a unique time in our lives where we're in that sandwich generation, right? Like we're taking care of our parents and we still are working full time or part time. We have other people who depend on us. If we have other social or civic obligations, right? So the plate is more than full. And so I appreciate that you're sharing that, Tamika, too, to include yourself, right, in your caregiving routine, and to prioritize yourself, right? Because there's statistics, there's reports about that caregivers who care for others full time, half time, or then just right behind, having headaches or digestion problems, right? And we don't think about how that may have started. And so part of having these conversations is just to see what we can start to point to, and then start to prioritize for ourselves along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I also think that we should be preparing this younger generation for what could possibly come, because I wasn't ready.
That's a great point, right?
Granted, our mom, her health started to decline when I was 12, before Tamika even, got here. So, and I had no idea of what to expect at this stage in my life. It is not what I envisioned as, even, as a 25-year-old. It just is not what I envisioned.
Yeah, having some of those conversations with younger people, right? Because then who gonna be taking care of us?
Right.
Yeah. In an ideal world, and it's not within my reach, but I would love to be healthy enough to continue to take care of myself, so that my child isn't taking care of me. That's kind of how I look at it in the short and long term.
Yeah, that's the goal, but the reality is,
right,
sometimes things are out of our control.
Right, absolutely.
So I don't know. I try to have conversations with Christina about my personal preferences.
Okay.
But I do think that it's a conversation, for younger audiences as well.
I can remember this was some time ago, some years ago. This woman said to me, there's a difference between taking care of and providing for. And I didn't quite understand what that meant. I made it be synonymous. And so how I define it, the taking care of is like the hands-on, the day-to-day of activities, versus providing for, which is to have other resources available to do some of those day-to-day activities. And so I think I'm still kind of on the fence about that, and kind of go back and forth. But I think there's some value in having the conversation, like you were saying, what are my preferences? And then hopefully that I'm healthy enough along the way to have some of those other things provided for me, so that I'm not looking to this one person to do these things. And hopefully, because I know I've had this conversation with other folks, and maybe we're starting to be the first generation who's like, okay, well, this is what I want for me when I get to those places in age or health wise, because it is a lot to want any one person to do those things.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So as we bring this to a close, I want to say thank you to you both for making time, and to ask if there are any final thoughts or wishes or ways to stay in contact that you want to leave with us today.
Okay, I'll go. You can reach me at my website. It's tbjacksoncpa.com. I am, a CPA. So I can be reached that way.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. And my website is willowbrainconsulting.com. I do instructional design for a living, my day job. Yeah, so that is how you can reach me as well.
Okay, well, thank you both for making time. It's a pleasure to see y'all faces in the same room, at the same place, in the same time. It's been outstanding.
Well, thanks for having us.
Good seeing you. Yeah.
Conversation. Yeah. It was
Absolutely.
Hope we get to see you in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yes, and that's the plan, right? We're gonna be in y'all city. Yes, yes.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.